right, so welcome back to part 2 of our mindfulness training today. We are going to begin like we did last time. So for those of you who are on your computer, in the chat box, I'll have you do this. And those of you that are in the room, I'll have you call out. So I want you to think about how you're feeling today. Just a sec, let me get my notes up. They went away. Sorry guys, just a sec. Okay. So I want you to take a moment and think about your number again, and also think about where you are on the scale with a word. So are you tired? Are you energetic? Are you excited? Are you happy, awake, whatever, joyful, whatever word you come up with. So take a minute, and those of you that are on your own computers, put it in the chat box, your number and your word. And then Rebecca, the room with Rebecca in it, you guys can just holler out your number and your word. Each of you take turns.
The 5 is better. Oh, I'm 4.5.
You 4.5. We're all like 2.
Like a 2.
Yeah.
So wait,
2.
are you, when you ask that question, do you mean physically or mentally or both?
Both, however you're feeling.
Okay. Yeah.
Exhausted.
Oh, I'm dead tired.
So I have Susan is a 3, she's relaxed. Des is a 2, tired. Brett a 1, tired. Jody 4, impatient, wants to go see your grandbaby. Oh, how old, Jody?
3 days.
Oh my gosh. Okay, all of us to get through this.
Yes.
Congratulations. Okay, and then Rebecca, the room, what did everyone say?
Rebecca said 4.5, doing okay.
Okay. Who else?
I'm a 1, and I'm exhausted.
Aw.
2, feeling okay. I'm a 1 and just tired.
Okay. I'm a 3. I'm tired, but I also love doing this, so I'm also happy to be here. So yeah, it's kind of in the middle of both. So keep your number in your brains, because at the end we'll be reviewing that again. And I'm gonna start. Does everybody have their chocolate?
Yes.
So we didn't get to do this last time. I walked you through it, but does everybody have 2 pieces? Okay. I want you to take one of those pieces and pop it in your mouth and chew it.
I don't hear it. She gave the extra. So what did she tell us to do?
Take a piece of chocolate, or take one of those pieces and just eat it. Just eat it how you would normally eat it. And just don't think about it, just eat it and swallow it down when you're done.
Okay. Seriously, I take my time with this one.
That's it. What is it?
Oh, good.
It's Dove chocolate. So like this sits in my mouth for a long time. I don't just chew it up.
Oh, that's good. Well, not. And I've got you guys those ones, because then it has the little quote on the inside, or the word on the inside. So great job, Des, because that's part of, you can be mindful while you eat it. How's it tasting for everyone?
Good.
Okay. Now, I want you to take a second piece of chocolate and just look at it. And I want you to look at it and see, is it smooth, rough, slick, soft, firm? Think about what other properties it has. Just look at that chocolate. Does it want to melt in your hand, not in your mouth? Does it have any design on it? What does that look like? Kind of just inspect it. You can look at the wrapper that it came with. Now I want you to hold it to your nose and pay attention to only the smell. What does that smell like? What does it remind you of? Do you have any memories that come up with it? Okay. Now I want you to take just a small bite of that piece of chocolate and hold it in your mouth. Put it on your tongue, but don't eat it. How does it feel in your mouth? Does it feel the same as it did in your hand? What do you taste? Roll that food around in your mouth and pay attention to the feeling. Now I want you to slowly start chewing it. Bring awareness to the sensations of eating. What does it taste like? Is it sweet? Is it milky? What does it feel like on your tongue? Do you need to crunch it between your teeth, or can you slowly dissolve it in your mouth? And if you want, you can take a slightly smaller or slightly larger bite. How does this change the way eating this food feels? Notice the muscles in your mouth, neck, and body as you swallow the food. And just keep eating that chocolate like this and notice any changing sensations in your mouth or your body. Okay. If you're in the chat box, if you're in your own room, can you tell me, did it change? And if you noticed anything or had any sensations that were different when you just chewed it versus when you enjoyed it? What was your experience like? And in the room with everyone, was it different? Did you notice something? Anyone want to share out?
I wanted a bigger bite.
Okay. You wanted good. Who else?
It just made me pause, like taking a minute to breathe or whatever. Like, so it made me pause and chill out.
Good. Did it taste different for anyone? Brett, taste calms us down when we savor it. Susan was uncomfortable chewing because usually she lets the chocolate melt in her mouth and then swallow. So that's different for you. Okay, so this is and Jody, notice the chocolate seemed cool in temperature as it melted and didn't think of anything else but the chocolate. So this activity is something that you could do with your students. And it doesn't have to be with chocolate, it could be with anything. But it's a great way for them to get calm and mindful, and also to consider as they're eating that mindful eating and not rushing their food, and how we talked about last time, how it can help with weight loss and just enjoying your meal rather than just getting through the meal, helping you be present in that moment. And a lot of people don't have food like we do, and so you can even enjoy it that way and appreciate that we do have food. So if you have more chocolate, you can keep eating it as we go. Next, I'm going to try to minimize this as it's going. I don't know if it'll work. So if it doesn't work, I don't want you to watch the screen. So you can either put just look away, close your eyes, whatever it is. And this is a practice called mindful listening. I'm going to be playing a clip of wordless music, and I want you to only focus on the music that I'm playing. I want you to surrender to the awareness that allows you to acknowledge and accept your feelings, thoughts, and sensations as they arise. If you want to turn off the lights in your room, if I were there in person, I'd be turning off the lights in the room. And I want you to get very comfortable and release your mind so that you can experience the music. I will be asking you after this to describe in writing or by drawing what you felt when you listened to the music after this experience. Any questions? Go ahead and get comfy, relax if you want, turn off the lights if you want. Kind of watch, see when everybody's relaxed. Put your phones aside. And you can close your eyes and just take a minute to breathe and enjoy this. All right, here we go. Well, wait, when everybody's all settled in and comfy, we'll get going. Jody, great job. Okay. Just move, don't worry about moving or doing anything else right now.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Maybe. I don't know what's wrong. Just a sec. Oops, nope, I'm gonna have to play it. Just don't watch the screen, please. Okay. So I saw some of you were relaxed the whole time. You can open your eyes. Others of you, I saw you relax for a minute and might have gotten anxious or just couldn't, it was too much. But I do want you to take a moment and write down. It can be single words or sentences. There's no one right way. Or draw what you experienced during the time the music was being played. I want you to create as creative as you want and capture how the music made you feel. I'll be asking you to summarize what you thought the musician was trying to capture with music, and I want you to justify your response with details from the music. In other words, what did the music represent? So take a moment to write down or draw how it made you feel, what you experienced, and then also, what did that music represent? And those of you, you can type in the chat box if you want. I'll have everyone's gonna share out. Do I have anyone that wants to go first?
So I'll just hold up what I drew.
Okay.
And then kind of share the words that came to mind. So when I was listening to it, probably the best descriptor would be, it kind of sounded very regal and very jovial to me. So it's meant to, I almost imagine like some sort of like a royal occasion where everyone's all dressed up, but it's certainly it didn't sound like it was terribly depressing, but it also didn't sound like it was too loud. It was kind of a little bit more subdued. So I was thinking spring. And then it was nostalgic for me. So it reminded me equal parts of like hold music, hence the telephone.
Oh, cool.
And then it also reminded me of the Nutcracker. So I drew the Mouse King.
Oh, nice. Are you an artist? I love it.
And then John.
What's it called again?
Beefeater.
The beefeater. Yeah, I drew. I'm not going to show mine, but yeah, it reminded me like being in London and walking through the city or something.
Okay.
And seeing them guard like the Queen's Tower.
Awesome.
Springtime.
Awesome. Thank you. Can you guys call on someone else?
What do we have here? Well, let's go ahead and pick on our fellow para. Let's pick Victoria.
She's like, I knew it.
She's like, I knew it.
Is Victoria ready? Oh, there we go. Oh, you're muted.
Victoria is in the bathroom.
Oh, okay. Do you want to share?
Sure. Listening to the music made me feel, when it was the low pitched music, I was relaxed, but when it hit those high pitched notes, a little tense.
Okay. What do you think they were representing with the music?
I think they were trying to make it calming.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Go ahead and call on someone else. Oops, you're muted.
Jody.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, there you go.
So the music was more like a presentation of some kind to me. Like there was a presentation of either like a court or somebody that was of importance. And for me, there was a lot of I'm remembering the ballet and the symphony and watching dancers and actual like the shoes, and then watching the violins and just remembering back then. But I also skipped to a bunch of just different memories in the last week. So in and out of the music with the memories. So that's kind of what happened with me.
And did you dance when you were younger? Or?
No, not that kind of dance, but I've been to a few ballets and symphonies. So.
Oh, great. Thank you. Brought up memories. That's great. And you can pick on somebody else.
Oh, I'm going to pick on Jill.
I loved your comment that not that kind of dance.
Not that kind of dance.
I wanted you to expand on that.
We'll talk later.
Okay. You know, it just reminded me of like weddings that I've gone to, and as you're sitting there waiting for the ceremony to begin, you know, that music is going. But also I kind of felt like I was at Buckingham Palace, kind of what Brett was talking about, the regal part of it. What else did you want me to comment on?
That's good. That's good. Do you watch A Crown?
No, I do not.
I love that show.
I'm an all-American kind of girl.
Okay. All right. You get to pick. So you get to pick somebody else.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. I can't see who all's on, but yeah, Susan. Did Susan get to go yet?
Nope, I'll go though. The first thing I recognized was the violin playing, and it took me back to my freshman year of college when I had a music appreciation class and we had to identify and hone in on particular instruments that we were listening to. And then I started to draw a bird when the music started to calm down. But when it was loud, it made me feel jittery. It really, yeah, I could just feel like my molecules were jumping around inside. So, yeah.
Did it bring you back down at the end?
It did. Yeah, when it calmed down, then I could calm back down. But it was like, whoop, 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 yeah, at first. But
we get to see your bird?
I can try.
Oh, cute.
And then what I did is I was drawing lines of the music jumping up and down, and that's what the lines are.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead and call on somebody else.
Let me see. I'm gonna check to see who else is on with us. I choose Des.
Thanks. I have to be super honest. I wasn't being super mindful and I was trying to get things done right now. So I didn't get the instruction. I'm really sad. I apologize, Donna, to do the drawing, but I did, like, I thought, I don't know, the music just represented movement and change. Cause it, like, I don't know, I just kept seeing like colors. So I would probably have doodled.
Okay. All right. You can pick on somebody else.
Who is it? Kelsey? Have you been picked?
No.
Oh.
It was a little jarring for me. Maybe just like sound quality or difference in pitch. Just didn't make me feel like, definitely don't feel calm or I feel a little antsy.
Okay. Okay. What do you think it was representing?
Oh, just, you know, timely change and progression, I'd say.
Okay. Who do you want to call on?
I would love to call on Rebecca.
Hi. Okay. I've watched too many Jane Austens. And so I love this music, but the sound on my computer was awful.
Oh no.
And so, yeah. So I did do a picture. I don't know if you can see it, but like when the sound, you can't, I don't think you can. So when the sound was really, really busy, I was thinking of bees hovering around flowers. I was thinking of Jane Austen's time and the Victorian times. And I was thinking of processions and all sorts of fanciness. And
Thank you.
positive. So in my room, we haven't called on Maddie yet.
I don't know, I was listening to it, I was thinking about like ballet dancers and like maybe springtime, like bright colors.
Okay, thank you. And did you have any feelings?
No.
Okay.
Not really.
All right. And then I think all that is left is Brittany. Are you with us, Brittany?
It made me, yeah, it made me feel nostalgic because I pictured my daughter as a toddler. She's 7 now, but she would watch these Baby Einstein movies, and that was one of the songs in there that has, I don't know, it's like a black screen with really bright things going on, and it was just, they used that song. And then it also then reminded me of being on hold, so it was kind of like a weird mixture of feelings.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is something that
good and bad.
Yeah, exactly. And we get that like a lot from, you know, it makes everybody feel differently. You can see how it feels differently. And you can do this with students and even ask them to pick a song that doesn't have words and play it for the class. And just kind of take a minute to do that. It doesn't take that much time. It can be a quick activity for you guys to do with them, but also for yourselves. A way to kind of get present and mindful. We purposefully chose this one with the ups and downs and the screeches and all of that, so that you could feel how music creates that emotion and the shifting emotion within our bodies. Thank you all for taking the time. Okay, moving on. Oops, let me get on. We don't want to listen to that again, I'm sure. Okay, so when we're using our mindful senses, we can do things that help calm us through that using our senses. So things like listening to a chime or singing bowl, walking. There's a breath app that you can use to guide that practice. Tasting like we did, Star Mints or Hershey Kisses, whatever you like. Seeing, you can be tracing or mindful coloring. Touch, the pressure point massage. So I am going to do that with you now. I want you all to take your hand and rub right here, okay? Gently massage the pressure point right here. And we're gonna do it for 30 seconds. And you can put your hand down and just rub it however's comfortable for you. Just keep rubbing it and pay attention to the feeling and how it makes you feel as you're doing it. And just keep going. Okay. Now I want you to switch to the other hand. Okay, you can keep going if you want, but you're welcome to stop. Anyone have anything that they experienced when you were doing that? This is something that I do sometimes if I get a headache. It can help with that, kind of relax your shoulders and your muscles a little bit. But that's just a quick way that you can use touch to calm yourself. And we do have a unit in our Schoology that is called the 5 Senses Meditation Walk. And normally I would have you guys go out, I would be with you, we would go on a walk and we would be looking around. But since we're not walking, I want you to take a moment and we're gonna do it where you're at. With your sight, I want you to look around you and notice items you hadn't noticed before. Maybe there's a pattern on the wall, a light reflecting from a surface, or a knickknack in the corner of a room. Perhaps it's a vivid color or a peculiar shape. Okay. Now I want to move to touch. What are you feeling? Do you feel the pressure on your feet on the floor, or is it your shirt resting on your shoulders? The temperature of your skin? I want you to now pick up an object and notice its texture, or bend down to touch something that is fixed. Look at it and feel it. What do you notice about it as you're touching it? And now let's focus on sound. Do you notice what are the background sounds that you usually filter out? Is it music playing here where I am? Is it an air conditioning in the room you're in? Are there birds chirping? Is there some noise that you haven't noticed before? I would normally say cars on a distant street, but you guys are so secluded, I doubt you have that. Okay, now take a moment and smell. What do you smell? Do you smell any flowers, coffee, carpet? It could be a bad smell too. Maybe there's an overflowing trash can in your room. And finally, taste. We did the chocolate, but if you have something that you want to take a sip of or drink or eat, a snack if you have one, or just simply notice how your mouth tastes. Taste the air to see how it feels on your tongue. So that's something that you can do with kids too. You can even just pick one thing and have everybody take a moment with the sight and notice something that they haven't, and you could have them share out what they're seeing or what they're noticing differently that maybe they didn't before. Just going through, you can do it all at once, or you can just have them, let's all stop, take a breath. What are you tasting now? Or what are you seeing? What do you feel on your body or where you're at? So that's another way to be mindful. And for you guys, I have some additional resources. You'll be getting this PowerPoint and you'll be able to use these. So some things like what to put in a calm down box. And like Daz, yesterday, you and I were talking about fidgets and that's, I was trying to remember the name of the box. We call it the calm down box. So this is another resource that you can use for that. You can use index cards with mindfulness strategies. Remember we did the glitter jar activity last time. There's gonna be a link to be able to make stress balls for your classroom. You could also provide mindfulness journals to your students or have students create their own. And then also remember that the mindfulness units in our Schoology have a lot of different activities that you can work through with your students. And so now, I know it was brief, but I want you to take a moment again and re-rate how you are using the same scale as earlier. And hopefully you're less stressed than when you started the training. Get that number in your head. I want to do a quick show of hands. How many of you have lower stress levels or are less tired than you were before? Raise your hand if you feel that way. I see Des feels a little better. Couple in the other room. Okay, how many of you increased your number? Did anyone have an increase in number? All right, Brett, okay, Des a little bit, okay, that's good. And whose number stayed the same? Jody, John, Joe, okay, thank you, Susan. Some of you in the room. Well, you can see how practicing these little mindfulness activities, they could help you with relaxing and increasing your number, or even just help you stay the same and be present. And remember, as you're going through your day, just try to be present in the moment. Like this morning, I was rushing to get ready, but I stopped myself and just thought, like, okay, I can do this. I'm gonna get through this day, and I'm just doing this right now. I'm gonna focus on how it feels to brush my teeth. And you can do it at any moment and remain present in that moment. And then I'm going to, never mind about that one. So with our closing thoughts, let me get to my notes here because I had like 50 other slides in here earlier. I want you to think about or share out in the chat box an appreciation, an aha, or apology that you have from today's training. So if you can type it in the chat box, or even if you have a takeaway. And you guys can just start sharing out whenever you're ready. So Susan said, her number stayed the same, but her word changed to happy. That's good. Any appreciations, ahas that you might have had? Des said she appreciates the reminder of how simple mindfulness is and how it does help. Who else? What about those of you in the room?
I like what Des said, that it can be simple, doesn't have to take a lot of time.
Okay, good. You can do it anywhere, anytime. Anyone else? Okay. All right, so with that, I will let you, oh, Jody said, I appreciate how these simple activities help calm her mind after a long, busy day. Thank you, Jody. They really can. So if you have feedback from the training when you get the presentation, and please feel free to fill that out. We make changes all the time. If you have other ideas for activities, let me know. And it's just me today with you guys. So you can, if you need me, just email me and I'm here for you. And I hope everybody gets home safely. Jody, enjoy that grandbaby. And I appreciate all of you. And hopefully one day soon I'll get to see you in person.